What is going on, guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about why Axe is one of the best offlaners in patch 7.37e. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. If you guys do, consider subscribing and joining the Dota Chronicles community and like the video, as it does help the channel grow. So one of the reasons why Axe is just such an incredible offlaner right now in this patch is because his laning phase is really good. He is extremely durable and reliable. He can farm stacks so much easier, and the fact that the meta really favors Axe. Heroes like Alchemist are really strong this meta, but also heroes like Medusa and Anti-Mage are making a comeback. And guess what? Axe is really good up against all these heroes, especially Alchemist. You can lock him down, and that's something he does not like. And also against Kez. Now, a lot of people think Kez is still quite broken even after the nerfs. I think Kez has definitely fallen out of grace a little bit. The hero's still strong in the right hands, can still do a lot, but he's not as broken as he was before. A lot of things did get fixed, but the hero's still pretty strong. And Axe is really good up against him, not only in lane, but pretty much across the entire game. Kez does not like to be locked down like pretty much any hero in the game, but the fact that Kez is just so frail and being locked down is a really big issue because this hero thrives in doing whatever he wants in the fight, and Axe is pretty much just the anti-carry hero. And in the off chance that they pick heroes like Juggernaut, Dazzle, you're gonna have a really good time up against these people. So the fact that the meta favors him, the fact that all the popular heroes you're doing pretty good up against, and even the matchups that you're not doing so hot against, you can still lane pretty well and get enough value out of picking Axe to justify the pick. And the fact that they switched around the Aghanim Scepter and the Shard is honestly fantastic. I hadn't played Axe in a while, so I just started playing him because I've been getting absolutely stomped by this hero, and a lot of lineups have been picking Medusa with the Axe. Now sure, it's just a block pick, but I love the synergy. I love the way Axe and Medusa synergize because you have this beefy frontliner in Axe, but you also have a really beefy carry in Medusa, because if there's no AM in the game or a very natural diffusal buyer and heroes of that nature, Medusa is just going to take over the game, and Axe is there to just soak up all that damage, and you're not going to get to Medusa. By the time you're done dealing with a very bulky Axe, the Medusa will probably kill you by then, or at least you blew up all your cooldowns and your resources to try and take care of the pesky offlaner, and Medusa is just going to have free reign in the fights. And that's what's been happening in my games. I've just been seeing the Medusa completely taken over, and there's really not a whole lot you can do about it. If your lineup is getting stomped, you're going to have an Axe running down your throat, and then you're going to have a Medusa just sitting there in the back just wailing away, and you just kind of feel hopeless. So it's a really strong strategy for you guys to be playing Axe Medusa. It not only helps out your Medusa, it also helps you out on the Axe as well. That way you have a nice strong carry in the back line that's not so fragile, and you're also able to do your thing. The facet you guys are going to be picking is definitely up to you. You have the one-man army, which is super popular, but this one's more for solo hunting heroes. So if you're a pick-off type of guy, when you like to play Axe, you like going for a lot of solo plays and solo pick-offs, then definitely pick this up. But if not, then you guys should be using the call-out facet, which basically gives the attacking enemies more attack speed and you get more armor. I like this one better, especially against matchups where they're agility carries. You're able to benefit so much because you're going to proc more spins, they're going to do more damage to themselves with blade mail, and it makes a lot more sense because one-man army, your teammates have to be 700 AoE away from you. It does linger for 3 seconds, but I overall don't like this one as much, but it is really good in the sense that you get 40% strength to armor conversion, so that is pretty solid. It just depends on your style. I typically like to pick both depending. If I'm facing up against an agility hero, then I'm definitely going to be picking the call out facet. If I see that it's going to be a game where I'm going to be rotating a lot and going for a lot of solo pickoffs, then yes, I will go for the one-man army, as it's going to benefit me much more. In terms of your item build, it doesn't really change that much when it comes to Axe. You go for your bracer, you go for your wand, you get a vanguard if you're going to need it, because nowadays there's a lot of magic lineups and magical burst, so I haven't been picking up the vanguard as much, not getting a whole lot of value from it. So it really depends. You end up finishing your phase boots, which is something that a lot of Axe players didn't do before, but I think it is really good in this death ball meta where you need to be so fast and so agile to get out of sticky situations. I think completing the phase boots is a must. And then you get your blink and your blade mail, and then you can go for a BKB, you can go for a heart, you can go for your shard, which is really good. I like getting the shard before the 30-minute mark because by then I should have quite a few stacks. I'll either get it for free from the Tormentor, but probably not, so I'll usually like to pick it up if I don't get it from the Tormentor, but it really depends. Most games you're not going to get it from Tormentor early on, and I think it's a shard that's really worth picking up. You can also get items like Assault Cuirass, or you can get Eternal Shroud. It really depends on what you guys are going up against, but these are your standard builds. Typically you don't usually build a whole lot of armor because you're just getting so much from your culling blade. It's just not really necessary to be building a whole lot of armor whatever, but some games it can be full-blown physical lineups. Heroes like Phantom Lancer or heroes like Phantom Assassin, you're gonna have a pretty decent time up against, so you might want to build items like Assault Cross. But these heroes, once you jump on top of them, you're gonna pretty much kill them. They're gonna kill themselves with Blade Mail, and that's one of the reasons why Axe just does so well this meta. Pretty much whatever they pick, you're gonna have a decent time, and even if you don't, you go straight into the jungle, have some stacks ready to go, and you can take Ancients and get a Blink Dagger at a really fast timing and just start roaming around the map and doing whatever you want to do. And it's very, very difficult to stop this hero, and it costs a lot of resources and a lot of rotations just to shut down a snowballing Axe. Now let's break down some of the best pairings you guys should be playing with Axe. Some of the best ones are Lich, Invoker, Ogre, Lion, Shadow Shaman, and Medusa. These are your best pairings. Now obviously it's not support Medusa, but it's not as popular as it was. Support Medusa does still happen once in a while, so if there is a support Medusa, it wouldn't be terrible. I do like carry Medusa much better when it comes to pairings, and when it comes to support, it's obviously Invoker, Lich, really strong, Ogre, and Lion as well, and the Shadow Shaman. These heroes are going to help you lane much better, and heroes like Lich are going to keep you alive for a really long time. And Invoker is mostly for the Sunstrike or for the setup, is really good because he could either Sunstrike or he could also Meteor while you're in the call and just do a whole lot of damage. You could also call into Cataclysm, which is always going to be a really strong combo. If you're looking for these 3 to 4 man calls, you're going to have a good time if you have an Invoker with an Aghanim Scepter. And now for the best and worst matchups. Some of the best matchups are obviously Medusa, Anti-Mage, Alchemist, Kez, Spectre, Dazzle, and Morphling. You're good up against all these heroes, especially Medusa. You do so well up against her, obviously. And heroes like Anti-Mage, Alchemist, Kez, even Spectre, they don't like to be locked down, and Axe is just doing so much work to them that it feels really difficult. I was playing a game earlier today when I was the Spectre against Axe 2 games in a row. There was just not a whole lot I can do to the hero, and the fact that I was just getting pushed out of lane constantly, Axe being able to death ball and coming online at a much faster timing than Spectre can, it felt really difficult to actually win this game, and felt like I was on the back foot even starting out the laning phase pretty well. It still felt like I was on the back foot the entire game. So this hero's power spikes are just really strong and hard to shut down. You definitely have to prioritize shutting down an Axe. And some of the bad matchups are Viper, Timbersaw, OD, Death Prophet, Doom, and Leshrac. These heroes are pretty difficult for you to go up against. Heroes like Viper, obviously with the break. Heroes like Timbersaw aren't really popular right now, but if somebody did play Timbersaw, you would definitely feel the pain. And heroes like OD, it's just a lot of pure damage. Yes, you can blink call and try and take him out, and it can work, but he can just astral himself and kind of get away. It's really difficult to be targeting OD, so typically you don't really want to go for that hero and go for other heroes instead. But Death Prophet, super tanky, usually builds a Yules, can kite you out, and the fact that she has silences and pretty much a whole lot of sustain, and her ultimate is just really strong. Even though you're super tanky on the Axe, Exorcism is a really strong ultimate and very difficult to deal with. And heroes like Doom and Leshrac are very difficult as well for you to take out. Once you're doomed, they're pretty much useless throughout the entire fight, and usually Dooms will try and pick you out if there's not a better target in the carry position. They will pick out the Axe and make you pretty much useless where you wish you would have got killed in the team fight, and that can make your life very miserable. Then you have to start building Lincoln Sphere, and they're probably going to be able to pop that and still get Doom onto you, so it's not the best solution out there. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Axe's patch. I think if you're not picking Axe, you're definitely missing out on a lot of MMR and a lot of opportunities to be winning a lot more from the offlane. The hero's super busted, and you guys should be picking him up as much as you can. And if you guys have never played Axe, then you should definitely pick him up, as he's a really strong offlaner, and pretty much almost every patch is going to be pretty decent. There's very few patches that Axe has been absolutely useless. The call is just always going to be a really strong aspect of the hero. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys learned something, consider leaving a comment and a like. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.